Our story kicks off with a little girl standing alone on the beach, just staring out at the crashing waves. She picks up a rock and chucks it right into the ocean. Meanwhile, we meet a teenager named Mia. She's in her bedroom, getting ready for her very first day at a brand new school. Once she makes it to class, she grabs a seat, paying close attention when the teacher calls on a guy named Roberto. Right off the bat, Mia is totally drawn to Roberto and his clique. I mean, you can just tell they're the cool kids on campus. Later, during recess, a shy girl approaches Mia, asking why she transferred right in the middle of the semester. Mia brushes it off, explaining her dad landed a new job, which brought them to the city. But honestly, Mia is completely zoning out. Her focus is dead set on Roberto's crew. Deciding to shoot her shot, she walks right up to them and asks to borrow a lighter for her cigarette. But they completely ice her out. They don't even give her the time of day and just walk right past her. By the end of the school day, Mia is totally drained. She heads home, goes straight to her room, and locks the door. Her mom eventually comes in, gently asking how her first day went. But Mia is seriously on edge. She talks back with major attitude, snapping at her mom to get out. Naturally, her mom gets worried, warning her not to use that tone. But out of absolutely nowhere, Mia completely loses it. She lashes out, striking her mom so hard she knocks her straight to the floor. Instantly, Mia snaps out of her rage. Seeing her mom writhing in pain hits her like a ton of bricks. Flooded with guilt, she rushes over, checking on her and staying right by her side. When her dad finds out what went down, he doesn't let it slide. He punishes Mia on the spot for what she did. She takes the punishment on the chin, spending the rest of her time isolated at home. Late that night, Mia wakes up feeling insanely parched. She sneaks down to the kitchen, fills up a glass of water, but then does something pretty bizarre. She dumps a massive amount of sugar into it and chugs the entire glass in one gulp. Still eaten up by guilt over what happened that morning, she quietly heads into her mom's room and falls asleep safely wrapped in her arms. The very next day, Mia heads back to school, taking her seat in class. Back in class, she finds out they're planning a school trip. Roberto's crew agrees to push for Coneyland, adding it to the list of potential destinations. Mia overhears the girls in the clique hyping it up, talking about how they're going to have a blast and sneak in some grown-up drinks. Once the chalkboard is totally packed with city names, the voting kicks off. It comes down to the wire, and Mia is the very last student to cast her vote. As she steps up to the board, chalk in hand, the clique starts whispering, pressuring her to vote for Coneyland. So she goes for it. Thanks to her vote, it officially gets locked in as their school trip. After school, the girls spot Mia and call her over, asking for some cigarettes. But then they casually call her an idiot. Mia gets totally ticked off and starts storming away. But surprisingly, the girls actually warm up to her. They introduce themselves as Gianna, Nellie, and Vivi. Once the ice is broken, they invite Mia to hang out with them. While the guys head off to the gym, Gianna takes the girls back to her place. As soon as they walk in, Gianna gets her dad to sign off on the permission slip for the trip. The girls then head up to Gianna's room, just gossiping about boys. Gianna fires up her laptop and puts on a movie for Mia. Things get a little crazy as the girls start messing around, and Gianna jokingly chokes one of them out. They all find it weirdly thrilling, so Mia takes a turn and chokes Gianna until she literally passes out. A few moments later, Gianna comes to, claiming she felt this strange, beautiful sensation. Intrigued, Mia asks Gianna to do the exact same thing to her. As Mia loses consciousness, she suddenly envisions herself deep in the ocean, completely surrounded by water, just swimming beneath the surface. Moments later, Mia snaps back to reality. Freaked out by her bizarre vision, she hurries straight home. But when she gets there, she rushes right to her fish tank. Driven by this wild, intense hunger, she grabs a live fish right out of the water and eats it. Almost instantly, her stomach starts acting up. She sprints to the bathroom and throws up. Her mom hears the commotion and comes to check on her, but Mia completely ignores her. Later that night, Mia puts on a full face of makeup and just dances alone in her room. The next morning, she hands the school trip permission slip to her dad, expecting him to sign it, but he flat out refuses. Visibly frustrated, Mia grabs her things and heads off to school. But instead of heading into class, she spots Gianna and the girls walking in the total opposite direction. Mia ditches school and tags along with them as they head to the mall. Once there, Gianna takes a pregnancy test. It comes back negative. The girls are absolutely thrilled and start celebrating the good news. Riding that high, they hit up a cosmetics store and start shoplifting makeup. But when a security guard spots them, they bolt out of there, laughing the whole way. Mia and Gianna sprint off on their own, ending up on a bridge overlooking the ocean. The two of them just crack up over what happened, knocking back some drinks until Nellie and Vivi finally catch up. After that, They all head home, but Mia is itching to act all grown up. She starts chatting online with a total stranger, and they actually agree to meet up. Suddenly, Mia gets hit with this agonizing pain in her stomach. She drags herself to the bathroom, fills up the tub, and climbs in. But when she looks down, she is completely shocked to see her toes are webbing together. Totally freaked out, she jumps out of the tub and examines her toes back in her room. Her mom walks in, demanding to know what happened to the fish in the tank. Mia flat out lies, claiming she flushed it down the toilet. Furious, her mom slaps her right across the face. Frustrated and angry, Mia just slams the door in her mom's face. The very next day, her dad drives her to school, but tells her straight up he is not signing that permission slip, not after the way she disrespected her mom. Mia storms out of the car, absolutely fuming, but instead of walking into school, she reroutes and heads straight to the hospital. She manages to see a doctor and spills everything about the bizarre things happening to her body. The doctor takes one look at Mia's fused toes and brushes it off as a condition called syndactyly. She insists Mia was simply born that way. But Mia is not having it. She argues that this webbing just started happening recently. So the doctor has a nurse run some tests and draw some blood. But while she's with the nurse, Mia catches the doctor on her cell phone, giving her this super suspicious look. Trusting her gut, Mia bolts from the hospital. As she's running away, she takes a hard fall, scraping her knee. Crying and completely overwhelmed, she pulls herself up from the ground. Once she finally makes it back home, Mia starts flipping through old family photo albums. She turns to her mom and asks a pretty obvious question. Why aren't there any pictures of her pregnant with Mia? Her mom gives her some totally lame excuse, so Mia just rolls her eyes and heads straight up to her room. Still feeling restless, she hops back online and messages that older stranger, officially asking to meet up. The next day, she spills the tea to her friends, telling them she's going on a date with a guy. The girls actually drop her off right at the hotel where they're supposed to meet. But when Mia sits down with him, it turns out the guy is way older than her. Almost immediately, he notices something weird. Mia's legs and feet are super swollen and turning blue. The whole vibe is just completely off, and Mia feels instantly uncomfortable. So, she literally clocks him right in the face and bolts. Instead of going home, she hits up a supermarket and buys some medical supplies. Once she's back in her room, things take a super dark turn. She takes a pair of medical scissors and actually starts snipping away at the webbing between her toes. She is in absolute agony, but she just pushes through the pain and keeps cutting. After that intense ordeal, she heads over to Roberto's place. They chill, smoke some cigarettes, and she ends up crashing there for the night. On her way back the next morning, she takes a moment to just sit among the trees, totally zoning out and taking in nature. Later, during breakfast with her family, Mia is absolutely scarfing down her food, eating like a wild animal. Her parents just sit there, staring at her in total shock, but she completely ignores them and heads out to meet her friends. When she catches up with the crew, she gives Roberto a huge hug. The girls immediately corner them, asking if they're officially a thing yet, but Mia just shrugs it off, saying she's still not entirely sure where they stand. Fast forward to that night, and the whole clique is totally wasted. The girls are dancing their hearts out while Mia just kicks back and watches. But the alcohol quickly catches up to Gianna, and she starts puking her guts out. Mia steps up and takes her home on the subway. When they finally get to Mia's house, Gianna notices Mia's dad completely passed out on the couch. She asks the million-dollar question, why don't her parents sleep in the same room? Mia is totally speechless. She doesn't even know how to answer. Later, hanging out in Mia's bedroom, things get super deep. Mia confesses that she feels like the people downstairs aren't even her real parents, like she was secretly adopted or something. Opening up, Gianna shares her own baggage, explaining that her parents went through a messy divorce, and her mom actually wanted to drag her all the way to America. Taking matters into her own hands, Gianna decides to forge Mia's dad's signature on the Coneyland permission slip. The very next morning, Gianna actually sits down for breakfast with Mia's family. Her parents are totally caught off guard when Gianna casually mentions that her own folks couldn't care less where she sleeps at night. Later at school, the girls board the bus for the trip. The teacher goes down the aisle collecting the slips, and Mia hands over the forged one. The teacher doesn't suspect a thing. With the trip officially underway, the girls are having a blast on the bus. Gianna pulls out a baggie of chill pills. They dissolve them into a bottle of juice and pass it around. By the time they hit Coneyland, they are completely out of it, just riding the high. But things take a turn. Mia starts feeling super dizzy while hanging out with Roberto. Her whole body begins aching, so she retreats to the bathroom. Crying from the intense pain, she pulls off her jeans, only to find her legs completely swollen and turning a terrifying shade of blue. The pain is just too much, and Mia completely blacks out, once again hallucinating that she's floating deep in the ocean. When she finally comes to, she's lying flat on the cold bathroom floor. Her stomach is doing flips, and she throws up right there. Her friends rush in, totally freaked out, and stay right by her side until she feels a little better. After the trip, Mia takes the bus back home, but the second she walks through the front door, her parents are waiting for her, and her dad is absolutely furious that she went behind his back. But Mia, she just totally ignores them, heads straight to her room, and crashes. Late that night, she wakes up feeling insanely hot. Trying to cool down, she moves to the floor, just sleeping on the cold tiles. But when she wakes up the next morning, things get straight up horrifying. The skin on her legs is literally peeling off, just shedding right onto the floor. Mia is absolutely terrified, but she forces herself to keep it together, gets dressed, and heads to school anyway. In biology class, the teacher has them dissecting fish, but right after class ends, Mia is overcome with this wild, intense hunger, and she actually eats the raw fish. Another girl catches her in the act, but Mia aggressively threatens her, making sure she keeps her mouth shut. Later on, Mia's mom drags her to a psychiatrist. The doctor gently asks if something is bothering her, but Mia completely snaps. Furious, she yells that she doesn't even know if the people living in her house are actually her real parents. She admits she doesn't even know if she was adopted as a baby. Heading back home, Mia and Gianna start tearing the place apart, desperately searching for any proof that her parents are actually her real family. Gianna stumbles upon a file written entirely in French, but before they can even try to decode it, Mia's mom walks in and completely loses her mind over the mess. Gianna takes off, leaving Mia to confront her mom. She straight up demands to know the truth about her real mother. But, as usual, she hits a brick wall and gets absolutely zero answers. That night, Mia ends up sleeping on the freezing cold floor again. When she wakes up, her parents are heading out to a friend's wedding. They hand her the address of the hotel where the reception is, just in case. Left all alone, Mia is bored out of her mind, just mindlessly watching TV. Suddenly, that wild hunger strikes again. She walks right over to the fish tank and eats the fish inside. Again, out of nowhere, she gets a text from Gianna, begging her to come out to a party by the lake. Mia shows up that night, and the two of them get completely trashed. While they're partying, some guy approaches them and invites them to another party the next day. The girls are all in and agree to go. Later on, Gianna wanders off, flirting and messing around with the guy again. But just moments later, panic erupts. Mia hears some guys shouting that Gianna went swimming in the lake and went under. Without missing a beat, Mia sprints to the water and dives right in. She searches frantically and finds Gianna completely unconscious beneath the surface. Using every ounce of strength she has, Mia manages to grab her friend and haul her out of the water. As Gianna finally coughs up the lake water and regains consciousness, Mia is absolutely terrified. She bolts from the party, running as fast as she can. Once she makes it back home, she rushes to the bathroom and pulls up her shirt, and what she sees is straight out of a nightmare. She is actually growing fish-like scales right on her back. But shockingly, Mia kind of just accepts it. She retreats to her room, grabs a pair of tweezers, and starts painfully peeling off the dead skin on her legs. Right then, Gianna walks in to check on her. One look at Mia's horrifying transformation, and Gianna instantly throws up all over the floor. Enraged, Mia hurls an empty booze bottle right at her, screaming for her to get out. Once Gianna finally leaves, Mia completely breaks down, sobbing over whatever the hell is happening to her body. But by the very next day, Mia is already getting dressed and prepping for the next party. Once she gets there, a group of guys pressure her into drinking and then try to take advantage of her. But Gianna shows up just in time. Seeing what's going down, she absolutely loses it. This finally snaps Mia out of her daze, and she cries out that something is seriously wrong with her body. When the partygoers catch a glimpse of Mia's bizarre, scaly legs, they are completely grossed out. Terrified and humiliated, Mia makes a run for it and rushes straight home. Waking up in the dead of night, Mia makes a horrifying discovery. Her legs are now completely fused together. She desperately tries to stand up, but she immediately blacks out and collapses to the floor. When she finally wakes up, she is paralyzed with absolute terror. She has literally transformed into a mermaid, her legs completely replaced by a massive fishtail. Panicking and gasping for air, she drags her heavy body across the floor, desperately fighting her way to the bathtub. She turns on the shower, soaking herself just so she can breathe again. She fills the tub to the brim and just lies there, while water overflows and completely floods the house. With no one else to turn to, she calls Gianna for help. When Gianna arrives, she is absolutely stunned and terrified to see a real-life mermaid right in front of her. But despite the absolute shock, she steps up. She helps drag Mia out, loads her into the back of a pickup truck, and they make a beeline for the ocean. As Gianna parks the truck right by the water, Mia makes one final, heartbreaking call to her parents, just to tell them she loves them. The two best friends sit together on the beach, holding each other tight until the sun finally sets. Mia shares an emotional goodbye with Gianna before dragging herself into the ocean, diving in and swimming away into the deep blue. And that is how our movie ends.